Well, it's been nearly 3 weeks since I put the pigs in here into my 2 garden spots, which are now, as you can see, 1 garden spot. They even plowed up all my sod for me. Real nice of them. But as you remember, the reason I put them in here was to eat the turnips. And there's not very many turnips visible, but they are all through here. I don't believe the pigs have eaten a single turnip. So I looked up, and people do grow turnips for pigs, but these pigs don't like turnips. And then I remembered about 5 years ago, I had planted a mixed cover crop for my pigs and put the pigs in it, and they ate everything but the turnips. So I'm thinking next fall, I'm gonna try sugar beets or something, because turnips are not working. But on the flip side, pigs are amazing at tilling your garden. So this was actually only 2.5 weeks, 2 hogs and 1 pig. Now, if you wouldn't have a tractor, you could probably put chickens in there for the rest of the winter and move them along and have them scratch it and level it out. But since my father-in-law bought a tiller for my tractor, obviously that's the way I'm gonna do it, because I don't want the soil naked all winter. I wanna get some cover crop on it. So that's what I'm gonna do. Clean this garden up, get all the pig stuff out of here, till it, put some wheat down, and till that in. And oh yeah, if you remember, moving the pigs over here was kind of a pain. They didn't really want to get out and move. But moving them back was a breeze. So I guess just moving them, I moved them several times, or a couple of times in the last 2 months. And so I guess they're getting used to it. So they moved pretty easy. And the way I had them fenced in here, in case you forget, with just a single strand of hot wire. And I got this roller. It's made to roll up extension cords. Works amazing for rolling up your hot wire. And it's cheap. And I think it was under $5. I'll put a link down in the description for that. Our little lettuce bed here outside has been doing great. I covered it up several nights when it got down in the 20s, but we've been getting a lot of salads this fall. I have the greenhouse with lettuce in it. The lettuce outside is jamming. And the spinach is doing okay. But a T-post puller works great for pulling up these tomato stakes. Seems kind of weird to be tilling this up in end of November, especially since if this cover crop does come up, I'll be tilling it in, at least some of it, in February, so it has time to rot in before I start planting. I started off to till so nice, since the pigs have it all broken up. I was tilling in 4th gear, low, but then it wasn't chopping up the turnips. So the first couple times I gardened, or that we gardened, I would buy little things of seed wheat for $10 for 10 pounds or something. But this year, I went and just got a bag of seed wheat and I planted some over in a corn patch. It's all coming up. So, and a whole big 50-pound bag of feed wheat was $11. So I want this. It's about 2/10 of an acre. I just measured it on Google Earth this morning. So I'm gonna sow it real thick just to make sure that it comes out, I guess. I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and sow it. Use this little seeder right here. I'm gonna sow it, and then I'm gonna go till it again. And I used to think that if you till it in, it would make the seeds too deep where they wouldn't come up. But last year, the neighbors and us put our seed wheat in, got it from the same place, and we sowed it at the same time. And we had kind of a drought, and none of mine came up. Some of it came up in the spring then, but theirs came up beautiful. So this year I planted in these turnips, or sowed in these turnips and tilled them in, and they just came up like that. My father-in-law planted some clover. I tilled that in, it came up. I planted some other clover after we had this long drought. So, not clover, this wheat over in the corn patch. We finally got some rain, so now it's coming up. So tilling in your seed wheat is a good way to do it if you've got a nice tiller on your tractor or a walk behind tiller. So I'm gonna go ahead and get it sowed, till it in,